Hello everybody, we're continuing from Zohar from scratch, and I'm excited to tell you we're starting מאמר פיקודי הורייתא, פיקודי הורייתא, meaning the laws of the Torah, but from the הקדמה of ספר הזוהר, which basically is going step by step of how to behave, and how to do the mitzvot and how to do the spiritual work. And it's actually one of my favorite. I mean, everything is beautiful in the Zohar, but this is like so beautiful. When I call it Zohar from scratch, I want to make sure it's clear to everybody what it means. Zohar from scratch meaning that we only read the simplicity of the Zohar, the pshat of the Zohar. We're not going into the Kabbalah of the Zohar. The Kabbalah of the Zohar has been explained by Rabbi Yehuda Ashlag and Rabbi Yehuda Tzvi Brandman. Let's do it. מאמר פיקודי הורייתא, פקודה קדמה, the first פקודה, the first idea of spirituality. זוהי המצווה הראשונה לכולם. This is the first mitzvah. מצווה זו נקראת יראת השם. How do we call the first mitzvah? יראת השם. יראה meaning, there is, Rav Ashlag explained that there is יראת עונש, you have fear to be punished, and there is יראת הרוממות. And there is יראה, an awe of respect. Because you can have two types of fear. Fear or an awe of being punished, or fear that somebody is so incredible that you always want to meet, walk into the room. It's a bit different. So it's called Yirat HaRomemut. So the first mitzvah is Yirah in general. Yirah in general. הנקראת ראשית. We call the Yirah ראשית. ראשית, like בראשית. Yirah ראשית. ראשית means the first. שכתוב, ראשית חוכמה, יראת השם. The first of wisdom is to have fear or respect to Hashem. יראת השם, ראשית דעת. Yirat Hashem, the Yirah of Hashem, the fear of Hashem, or the respect of Hashem, of God, Yereshit Dat is the beginning of Dat. Of course, there is a lot of secret here, why you use Dat, Chokhmah, there is a reason, Chokhmah, Binah, וDat. משום שדבר זה יראה נקראת ראשית. The beginning of every spiritual step has to start with Yirah. I'm sure some of you ask, why not Ahava? Why not love? Because you need infrastructure before you get love. If you don't have a vessel, then love, where's love going to sit? וזה אושר להיכנס אל האמונה. If you have יראה, you now have a gate to go into something called אמונה. Faith. You know, אמונה, faith, certainty. אבל מצווה זו מתקיים כל העולם. And that mitzvah of יראה, it's the foundation of the entire world, of the spiritual world. So nothing can work with a person who doesn't have yirah. For that reason, you sometimes see people who understand spirituality from theoretical point of view, from not practical point of view, and it's missing something. It's missing yirah. It's missing that quality of an awe toward the situation. You can see people who walk into a restaurant, they love the food, but they have no respect to the restaurant, so they leave it dirty. So it's lacking of yirah. You have to have yirah. Yirah. Why does it say the yirah make you with emunah? Because why people don't believe? Because they don't have an awe. They don't have respect to the person next to them. So if the person next to them create fear, will they believe? They will. But that belief will be conditional. It will be based on when the fear will pass. Once the fear will pass, the emunah will stop. So emunah that comes from fear, it's okay. It's a good start. It's called a yirat ha'onesh, and respect out of being punished. But yirat romemut is respect out from recognition of what stands in front of you, if it's human or God or individual, you know. So it's important. Yeah, I love that section in the beginning. Yeah. So Rav Ashlag wants us to know also, just one verse. לולא היראה לא היה בורא אלוקים כלום. Without יראה, without an awe, without fear, without respect, God, Elohim, God, will not create the thing. That's how important יראה. היראה מפורשת לשלוש בחינות. The יראה is divided to 3 levels. By the way, if people want to start their spirituality, I know it's kind of 2,000 years old session here, but it's still perfect because you go point by point. You will go point, yirah, denach, ech leov, how to love, everything. But it's an old style, but it's still very good, to my opinion, if you really want to work on your spirituality. Just to take those notes. What is the first thing I do? This, it worked automatically. I tried and it worked. It worked. היראה מפורשת לשלוש בחינות. The היראה is divided to 3 levels. 2 מהן, אין בהם שורש כראוי. 2 of them doesn't rooted very well. Rooted or root? Root very well. ואחת היא שורש היראה. One of them has a strong roots. יש אדם, now he's going to go to details, and please don't panic if one of them is you. If you start your spirituality, and you decide to start today, that's a good way to start. יש אדם שירא בקדוש ברוך הוא בשביל שיחיו בניו ולא ימותו. Some people fear God because they're afraid that the children will stay alive and will not die. או ירא מעונש גופו. Some people fear God so they will not be punished with the body to get sick. או מעונש כספו. Some people believe in God so will not be punished to lose their money. אבל כן הוא ירא אותו תמיד. That's why they always fear God. They always fear God because they're afraid one day they lose money, they lose their children, or they will be sick with their body. נמצא שהיראה הוא ירא מהקדוש ברוך הוא, לא שם אותה לשורש. So the fear he has from God, or respect he has for God, is not truly because he respects God. He respects God because he's afraid to lose what he already like. Is that clear? כי תועלת עצמו היא השורש והיראה היא תולדה ממנה. So because he cares about his needs, he afraid of God. ויש אדם, הירא מפני הקדוש ברוך הוא, משום שירא מעונש העולם ההוא, מעונש של הגיהנום. The next level of יראה, or fear, he used the word יראה in this sense as fear. The next fear, because יראה can be translated as awe, or fear, or לראות, to see. There is a person who fears God because he's afraid of the punishment of the world to come after he died, which is גיהנום. שתי מיני יראות הללו, היינו יראה מעונש עולם הזה ויראה מעונש עולם הבא, אינם עיקר היראה ושורשה. Fear of what's going to happen to you in this life, what's going to happen to you in next life, or what is going to happen to you in עולם הבא, it's not considered יראה. So a lot of people are afraid that they worship God, just not to lose money, they worship God just to have children stay alive, or just to stay healthy, or just that the עולם הבא look okay. It's not יראה. Very similar to the story of Rabbi Elimelech. When he find out that he lost all the Olam Haba, he start dancing. And the student tell him, why are you dancing now when they told you lost your next world to come? He said, now I can worship God for real. Before that, I had some hope to get my Olam Haba. But now, when I know I'm not getting it, and I'm still working, Hashem, that's real. היראה שהיא עיקר. Now, what is the real יראה then? What is the real fear? הוא שאדם ירא מפני אדונו משום שהוא רב ושליט. You respect God, and you fear God, and you have respect and fear and awe, because you know, הוא רב ושליט. He's the master, he's the king, he's everything. סיבת הסיבות, he's the seed of everything. העיקר והשורש של כל העולמות. Is the roots and the beginning of every universe that exists. בגין דהו רב ושליט עיקרה, ושורשה דכל עלמין. הברית את ארמית. וכולה כמה, כולה חשיבין, כמה דאטמה, כל דיירי אריה, כולה חשיבין, שב על רותי באו אתר דיקרא יריעה. והכל נחשב כעין לפניו. Everything compared to God is nothing. כמו שכתוב, כל דיירי הרעה, כולה חשיבין. I just read it. All the people who live on this planet, is not even compared. וישים חפצו באותו המקום שנקרא יריעה. A person, a human being, should have, make an effort every day when you pray. I want to have that type of fear. I want to have that type of fear. I respect God because הוא רב ושליט, הוא רב ושליט. That he is the master of everything. He is everything. What is that connected to the emunah? Why Rav Ashlag asked that question? Because how you test yourself if you have the real יראה, if you have the real emunah? זה ביחד. It's together. It's work together. And what he say here, רב אשלג? זה קשה קצת. שיהיה דבוק ביראתו, יתברך. To be cleaving to the יראה, to the fear or respect or awe of השם יתברך, ברצון ובחשק, with desire and pleasure, המותאם והראוי למצוות המלך. That fit according to the מצוות. So when you do mitzvot, aseh, you do because the master of the world say that's what you should do. When you don't do mitzvot, when you should prevent yourself from doing things, it's not just because you understand it or you don't. You've been mitzvah not to do it. For example, one of the mitzvahs by a new teacher from Jerusalem teach me. He said, it's in the book of Dvarim, Yan asher lo avat et Hashem elokecha b'simcha u'b'tov levav. You get punished because when you do the mitzvot, you don't do it with happiness. You know, that's what God doesn't like. God doesn't like it. So if you do it without happiness, the mitzvot, you're actually doing against the master. If you're doing against the master, that's not ira. בסדר? בחר רבי שמעון קראי, ואמר, אוי, אם אומר, אוי, אם לא אומר. Say, I don't know if to speak, and I don't know if I not speak. אם אומר, ידעו הרשעים איך לעבוד האדונם. If I teach how to do that, the wicked people will know how to worship their master. Our question is, what's wrong with the wicked people know how to worship the master, right? זו שאלה טובה. ואם לא אומר, יעבדו החברים את הדבר הזה. If I don't teach, Rabbi Shimon said, then the people who try to work on themselves will not know what to do. כי במקום שהעירה הקדושה שרואה יש כנגדה למטה העירה רעה, זה רבי שמעון בר יוחאי, some revelation, unbelievable revelation. I hope it stay with us. You say, the universes operate wherever they have real yirah, real fear, or real respect, or real awe. And don't worry about the word fear. I know some people hate the word fear. I know some stupid people who wrote a book, Never Fear Again, or something like that. Fear is important. Fear is the beginning of your journey. It doesn't mean you should get stuck in fear. People who have no fear, they have one place to go to. It's called mental hospital. They have no fear, by the way. But fear is important. Of course, if the fear take over, it's a problem. But fear is Hashem give you that fear so you can know the difference between good and bad. Fear is a sifting to know the good and bad. But if the fear is becoming total control, I mean, let's say people who are afraid to fly from here to Paris, when they achieve that, they feel good. The point is to overcome those fears. But they're afraid. People are afraid of cockroaches. So when there is no cockroaches, they're happy. So the fear is a sifting between good and bad. You know, people are afraid that they lose money and they get money. Now when they get, they're happy. Fear is not always a bad word. Many people make fear look bad. Or hatred. Hatred is not always a bad word. You hate the bad things. It's good. Just in spirituality, we don't define something as bad. Everything has a use if it was created. So Rabbi Shimon said, Yirah has two sides. You have Yirah Ra'ah and Yirah. What is Yirah Shel HaKdusha? There is Yirah of holiness. Yirah meaning fear of holiness. And against it, Yirah Ra'ah, a fear of negative. fear of negative, he called it שמכה ועולמת ובסטינה. והיא רצו להכות לרשעים. That type of fear is like a whip, ועולמת, that is almost like with the steel, with the armor that hit you, ובסטינה, and speak bad behind your back. והיא רצו להכות לרשעים. And that's the way they're hitting the wicked people. What does that mean? זה רבש לגדיינו נשם על עוונותיהם, וכן ירא מלגלות כדו שידעו השם איך להיפטר מן העונש כעונשם וטהרתם. So beautiful. Most beautiful. רבש like adding stuff, make it perfect. Why the wicked people get, can I say, whipped with the punishment? You know, because you're afraid that you're gonna get sick. If you misbehave, so you get sick. So why you get sick? Because that's the cure for the way you believe in God. Because you don't believe in God in a perfect way. You believe in God with condition of fear that something happened to your body. Something happened to your body. Why something happened to your body? That's a purification that one day you will start believe in the Creator in a perfect way, with not a fear you're going to get sick, with the fear that you do the wrong thing toward the master. That's the Yirah Kedusha. And if you don't do that Yirah Kedusha, so why Rabbi Shimon doesn't want to reveal the secret? Because he will reveal the secret to the Reshaim, to the wicked people, what's going to happen? They're going to shortcut that, and then they will find out how to do trick with and they will stop being afraid, and through that they're going to get the light. But say Ravash, like ki onsham uta'aratam. The only way a wicked person get purified is by being punished. You ever have some glue, which is strong glue, attached to your finger? You know, it's very difficult to remove it. So you have to use sometimes burning your finger just to remove the glue. Onsham uta'aratam. The punishment, the pain, is actually the purification. So when we're talking about like, and again, it's deep. I'm trying to do my best I can. Two group of people. One afraid of God. They all believe in God. But they believe in God in a certain way, because what's belief is the belief system is based on your need, or belief system is based on God's need. If your belief system is based on your need, then your belief system is personal. It's not creator-wise. But if you believe in God, is the Rav Shalit. God is everything. Huh? So now, I cannot do the wrong thing, not because it's wrong or right. It's because the master who created me and created the world told me it's wrong. So I'm doing it. Once I have zchut, merit, I will understand why. But right now I'm just do. But if you do it because you're afraid you lose money, then that ira is wrong. So what happened? You lose money. And then when you lose money, what happened? That losing of money purified your ira level to be a real ira, to be a real respect, a real awe, a real fear. ומי שירא מפני עונש, הכאה ושטנה, כאמור, אינו שורה עליו אותו יראת השם. Whoever always afraid that God will punish them in this עולם ובעולם הבא, or the world to come, he's never going to have the merit of feeling the real yira. It's very sad. They're missing the point. They're missing the whole point of spirituality. Can you imagine to teach that to people? Like this is step by step for Rabbi Shimon, how to grow spiritually. If people will just study that, they will be okay. They don't need a lot. But really follow those methods. Even if you do it for 1 year, one step, every year, one step, you become tzaddik in the end of all of those steps. Tzaddik, no even question about it. No, you don't need to worry about nothing. Just follow that. So what you need to work on? Yira. For 1 year, just yira. I want to fear the creator or respect the creator because I don't want to upset the king. Can you imagine you have, I'm trying to use all kind of example, rock star that you love. The young people are into singer and stuff like that, or movie star. So you get an invitation to be with them alone and to do some Instagram video and then tuk-tuk and all those other things. And you get excited. You're very much excited. Now you have yirah to be next to them and not to upset them because they are the master for you. They invite you. So if you have yirah that you might look bad on the video, or you might not get what it is, or your friend will not like it, then you don't really connect to that person you're with. So that's not ira. So for that reason, people who are fear for the wrong way or respect for the wrong way, it doesn't work. הנקראת יראת השם לחיים. The real ira give you life, give you excitement. I know it doesn't make sense, because how can you be excited while you have respect and fear? It seems like it's more going to limit you. And that's a people outside of the world of spirituality who look at people in the world of spirituality have no idea why they're so miserable. There's a lady who keep asking me, what happened? What went wrong that that person becomes spiritual? What went wrong in their life? That's what she asks me all the time. And the point is, she's right. From her point of view, it looked like something went wrong. But if she will say, let's say she will need an oxygen tank because she can't breathe on her own, okay? What are her connection to the oxygen tank at that moment? Is she afraid to lose it? Is she afraid to disrespect the oxygen tank because it's giving her life? Yes, she does. So for her, the oxygen tank become a Rav Shalit. That's called Rav Veshalit. It's everything for her. So you don't want to upset it because it can go disconnect from it. You're not afraid to upset it because later on the balloon will be upset with you, or the oxygen, or you don't worry. You just work on yourself for real. I hope it's clear. It's kind of deep. אלא מי שורה עליו, היא אותה יראה רעה, ונמצא ששורה עליו אותה רצועה, יראה רעה, ולא יראה את השם. So whoever have יראה רעה, Rabbi Shimon said, whoever have fear for the wrong reason, unfortunately get punished more. וואו. משום זה המקום שנקרא יראת השם נקרא ראשית דעת. The place הוא כל יראת השם, כל הראשית דעת, the beginning of knowledge. אבל כן נכללה כאן מצווה זו. That's the first mitzvah, say Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. You want to know what's the first mitzvah? That's the first mitzvah. וזהו השורש והיסוד של כל השאר מצוות התורה. That's why I said to people, I study that, you will know everything. You want to know what the short של מצוות התורה? Just that. You don't have to worry about אמונה, you don't have to worry about אהבה. Don't worry. יראה. יראה. אבל האמיתי. מי ששומר את היראה, שומר הכל. Whoever keep יראה, שומר הכל. ומי שאינו שומר את היראה, אינו שומר מצוות התורה. Whoever doesn't keep that type of fear, that kind of belief system, that kind of awe, is considered like as if they don't keep any mitzvot of the Torah. כי זו היראה השער לכל. This יראה is the gate of everything. משום זה, now is going to the Torah, כתוב בראשית, that's why the Torah starts with בראשית. בראשית mean in the beginning. שהוא יראה, ברא אלוקים את השמיים ואת הארץ. So you say, don't say בראשית. You should call the word בראשית, הרי אמרנו, ראשית חוכמה יראת השם. We already explained. The word ראשית, חוכמה, the beginning of wisdom, יראת השם is the fear of and awe of God, the real awe, or the real fear. Say, so if you change the word בראשית to יראה, so you should read it like this, say רבי שמעון. יראה ברא אלוקים את השמיים ואת הארץ. You understand what Rabbi Shimon does? It's called גזרה שווה. Wow. He take the word that's equal to this mathematically, then it's יראה. As what created heaven and earth? יראה. That's a foundation of all the steps of spirituality. Not easy if you get into it. I'm telling you, year is considered for tzaddikim to get to יראה. Usually take 10 years for normal people to get to real יראה. You're only afraid to disconnect from the master. The Hasidim used to say, we are like a bucket in a well. And God is pulling us with that rope or with that wire up. And they said to God, Hashem, sometimes we fall down really deep. We don't care if the rope is thick or thin. We just care that there is a connection, so you can bring us back. You understand? That's יראה. יראה always get you connected. So יראה ברא את אלוקים את השמיים ואת הארץ. כי מי שעובר על זה הוא עובר על כל מצוות התורה. Whoever don't have יראה, whoever עובר זה, no, don't have, whoever disrespect יראה, disrespect fear or respect or awe, that type of awe, that type of יראה טובה, the good one, is considered like all the mitzvot of Torah is cancelled. Because why is that? We know why. Very simple. Because all the mitzvot of Torah that he or she did was because they're afraid to die, or afraid to get sick, or afraid that the children will die, or afraid to lose money. They don't do the mitzvot because the master say. How much pleasure you have if the master say it? In the beginning, not a lot of pleasure because the ego will not let you. The master say to do Shabbat. Was the Shabbat good? But I don't care. Should we say it's Shabbat? ועונשו של מי שעובר על זו. What's the punish of a person who doesn't have יראה טובה? I remember I read it 28 years ago. I said, wow, if somebody just keep those mitzvot, just here. Tzaddik. That's it. And even if you just do יראה, Just start with that. The rest is easy. That's the first step, which is the hardest thing. One day, when Hashem help me, bli neder, I should do a course from that, but it's only for leaders. It's only for people who are truly ready to make a change. Then that person get punished from who? From the whip that is a result of the wrong belief system, which is having fear for the wrong reason. מכה אותו, והיינו בארץ הייתה תוהו ובוהו. Look how beautiful Rabbi Shimon does it. He takes Bereshit. So Bereshit ברא אלוקים את השמיים ואת הארץ. What do you say? Not Bereshit. Say יראה ברא את אלוקים את השמיים. והארץ הייתה תוהו ובוהו. He continued the next verse. And the land was a mess. What is a mess? That's the whip that hitting people if they don't truly have יראה, have a real יראה, have a real belief system, have a real awe toward God. וחושך על פני תהום. And dark on the valley. ורוח אלוקים. And the spirit of God מרחפת בפני המים. הרי אלו 4 עונשים להעניש בהם את הרשעים. רבי שמעון said, did you find for punishment that the wicked people get punished? I didn't see. Right? So you say, okay, I will show you. תוהו, the word תוהו, והארץ הייתה תוהו ובוהו, and the land was תוהו, תוהו. The word תוהו means wonder. חנק is death by choking. תוהו זה חנק. שכתוב קו תוהו, it's bringing from Isaiah. חבל מידה. בוהו זו סקילה. It's a בוהו, mean a mess, a chaos. סקילה. סקילה is death by stoning. היינו אבנים משוקעות בתוך תהום הגדול בשביל העונש הרשעים. חושך, darkness, as it mentioned this, שרפה, burning or fire, שכתוב באיש שבכם את הכל בתוך השחוש והבוער באש עד לב השמיים. חושך. זוהי אש חזקה שעל ראש הרשעים יחול לשרוף אותם. That fire is burning on the head of the wicked people. Of course, it's not just literally, it is too, but there is a meaning to it. Because in the moment that the person making dir'ah because he's afraid to get punished, a person afraid of God because he's afraid to get punished, then the klipot take over, Rav Ashlag said. Because what is the klipot? They look at the person and say, you're doing it right. You're doing it for the wrong reason. You don't truly connect to God at all. I mean, your connection to God is not exist. Your connection to God is just in an intellectual level. You don't really care about God. You care about the gift you can get. Or God said to study Torah, and he said if you don't study Torah, you die. So what are you going to do? Study Torah? But you already study Torah because God is the master? No, because you're afraid to die. So who are you afraid of? For you. You're not connected to God. אחרי שכבר ניצוד על ידי סמך א'. ורוח, what did it say? ורוח השם מרחפת על פני המים. The wind is spirit go above the water. זהו הרג בחרב, is death by sword. כי רוח, we know there is many names to the קליפות. One of the names to the קליפות is called רוח שערה. היא חרב שנונה, הלוהטת בו. Is a sword with שיניים, with the... It's like that. I don't know the name for it. It's called shnuna. Teeth to the knife or the sword. הלוהטת בו with fire. כמו שאתה אומר, ואת להט החרב המתהפכת. Like it's in Bereshit about the sword that used to be in the entrance to the Garden of Eden. It's called להט החרב המתהפכת. ונקרא רוח. זה עונש למי שעובר על מצוות התורה. שכתוב אחר יראה נקראת ראשית שהיא כלל הכל. So whoever is not capable of doing the mitzvot of Torah, to doing the right mitzvot of the Torah, then unfortunately, the cheref shnuna. And what is the mitzvot of Torah? יראה, fear, the right one. כי אחר בראשית שהיא יראה, נאמר תוהו ובוהו וחושך, ורוח, שהם עונש דלת מיתות, וכאן על השאר מצוות התורה. So from here, say Rabbi Shimon, I'm going to show you all the mitzvot you got to do. But if you don't do that, there's no point, he said, to continue. I'm sure all of you say, it should be love. Ira. Otherwise, love has no value. That's why love is the next one. So without ira, it's a foundation. It's a shorish. It's called a shorish. Like in Kabbalah, we call it shoresh kelim. It's the only way. Now we end up, רבה שלה end up, that's from למי שאינו דבוק ביראה ראשית, והם כללה דכולה, then it's the rules of all rules. Whoever is not working every day to try to work on themselves to believe that the master is, that's why I'm doing it. להיותם השאר לאמונתו יתברך. You can never reach to אמונה. Never. A person like this will never reach to אמונה. They will never have אמונה because their אמונה, אמונה means faith. אמונה means belief system. אמונה means certainty. And that belief system is based on wrong foundation. Because there is fear of being punished, or fear of getting sick, or fear somebody will leave you. Let's say if a woman afraid her husband will leave her. That's a fear, that's a yirah. She has yirah from him. But her yirah is for herself, it's not for him. מצד שכל המצוות שבתורה כלולות בה. Everything based on אמונה. So אמונה, everything, the mitzvot is based on אמונה. But to get to אמונה, you have to have yirah. Not era of fear, not era of die and stuff like that. דהיינו, כל מצוות שבתורה הם פרטים, כולם של מצוות היראה. The רבה שלך said, everything in the Torah is based on אמונה. Okay, I hope we're going to do the next one.